You're now listening to Radio Walford, the #1 radio station which brings you all the latest news and spoilers from Albert Square, live with Tom Gardiner. Hello EastEnders fans, and you're now listening to Radio Walford with episode 11. So here's what's to come in today's episode of Radio Walford. We've got all the latest news and spoilers direct from the square as usual, some news regarding a busy summer for Walford, and this includes Tyler Moon's exit, the latest and brand new roundup from Python, and also I'll be discussing about a big storyline which will see Phil end up in an accident after working with Carl and asking for money. It will also see the former landlady of the Queen Vic, Peggy Mitchell, return, and that is topped off with some of our selections of her greatest moments. And then I'll be giving out some shoutouts. That's all to come today on the show. Now though, here's a preview of tomorrow night's EastEnders episode.
We weren't the best looking couple out there, but neither were Ian and Denise. But we did have something. We had a spark. But that weren't good enough for you, was it?
What is this, couples therapy?
No. I want you to know something.
What's that?
That I was the best thing that ever happened to you.
So looking from that preview, could Shirley finally be forgiving Phil for what happened with Heather last year, and obviously with Phil's son Ben being the one that murdered her? Well, also this week, we see Phil going to Denise in the B&B and asking her to let Shirley stay there, and he pays her Shirley's rent. So that's going to be good, and I think it's going to be quite sweet of Phil actually, and I do actually hope, it's going to sound weird because I used to like Phil and Sharon, but I do actually hope that Phil and Shirley do reunite. Right then, time to move on with a look at next week's episodes of EastEnders and all the latest news and spoilers. So, it all kicks off starting with Monday's episode, and Ian is pushed to breaking point when he is left to run all of the businesses on his own, as Lucy is still refusing to help him. Jean is also adamant that she's not coming back to work, and as she's scared that she might blurt out the truth about what happened at the restaurant. Later, Jean has a date with Ollie, and although it starts off well, she becomes nervous when Ollie mentions that he's a policeman. However, Ollie tells Jean that he doesn't care about whatever she's done wrong, and he ends the date with a kiss. Oh, that's so sweet. Later, a guilty Jean heads to the restaurant and comforts Ian when she sees that he's completely overwhelmed. When Ian tells Jean that she's his only real friend, the guilt gets too much and Jean confesses she was responsible for trashing the restaurant. Ian is horrified by the news and he trashes the restaurant by throwing a table. Oh dear. And he hugs Jean. And then he goes over to the Vic on Tuesday night's episode, and it gets better, folks. Oh, it does indeed. And he threatens to report Bianca to the police. So she's furious over Jean's confession and interrogates her to the full story. A flustered Jean accidentally lets slip that there were more people involved, and then rushes to the Vic with Ian in hot pursuit. As Ian races upstairs after Jean, his actions leave Kat, Bianca and Shirley in a panic as they realise what's happening. Now aware that someone else was involved, Ian is determined to find out who it was, and he soon realises that Bianca is the guilty party. A scared Bianca runs off, but Ian follows her home. Bianca tries to explain herself, but an unforgiving Ian tells her to save it for the police. Knowing that she's still under probation, Bianca urges Ian not to get the police involved, but Ian stands firm over his threats and leaves her terrified. Also, on Tuesday night's episode, Kirsty goes ahead with visiting Carl's mum Nora. When Nora tells Kirsty that it would break her heart if she and Carl ever broke up, Kirsty decides to keep her in the dark and promises that will never happen. When Kirsty leaves Carl and Nora alone, Nora becomes extremely menacing with her son, telling him that she's a pathetic excuse for a man like his father. She also tells him that he better treat Kirsty well and never let her go, while digging her nails hard into his hand. On Thursday night's episode, a big storyline involving Whitney Dean begins as Whitney decides to visit Tony in prison. Whitney is startled as an eccentric-looking stranger arrives in the square to deliver a letter from Tony. A panicking Whitney insists that she doesn't want the letter, but when the man continues to follow her, she eventually takes it to get rid of him. Tyler spots the strange encounter and asks Whitney what's going on, but she explodes with anger towards him. Later, Whitney apologises to Tyler and shows him the letter from Tony, which reads, "Dearest Whit, I always loved you. T.X." Tyler points out that Tony isn't coming out of prison anytime soon, so Whitney needn't worry. However, Whitney isn't reassured by his words and makes a secret phone call to apply for a prison visiting order. Oh dear, oh dear. Meanwhile, after learning of Bianca's latest predicament, Carol approaches Denise and asks her to reason with Ian. Denise promises to try talking him round. Jean also wants to make Ian see sense, but he tells her that he hasn't decided what he's going to do yet. Jean reports this back to Bianca, which makes Carol think that Ian is just making Bianca sweat. Later, Bobby and Tiffany's love for each other causes more problems, and Ian tells Bianca that he won't press charges against her if she promises to keep Tiffany away from Bobby. Bianca agrees, and to make sure he's completely distanced from himself and the family, Ian fires Whitney. Oh no. And finally, on Friday night's episode, Whitney heads to the prison. Whitney admits to Tyler that she has called the prison, but he can't understand why she'd ever want to visit Tony after what he did to her. Not long afterwards, Ava sends Whitney home from work at the youth centre, thinking that she is unwell. Tyler panics when he can't find Whitney and desperately tries to locate her. When Whitney arrives at the prison and asks to visit Tony, she is led away into another room. Later, Whitney arrives back in Walford, and a frustrated Tyler asks if she still loves Tony. Whitney is angry over his suggestion and pushes him away. Not long afterwards, at the Butcher household, Bianca's gathering to celebrate the end of the probation is in full swing. However, when Bianca and Carol hear Whitney and Tyler arguing, Tyler decides to tell them about Tony's letter and Whitney's visit to the prison. Bianca is left angry and upset over Whitney's actions, leading Whitney to explain herself. Meanwhile, in Friday's episode, Sharon agrees to let Dennis have more freedom and sends him on his way to Ian's. However, Dennis soon gets up to mischief by teaming up with Morgan and stealing a catapult that Jay and Dexter are playing with. Sharon later spots Dennis in the gardens, but as she shouts over to him, he misfires the catapult and smashes Dot's window. Oh dear, that's another time someone smashed Dot's window. Knowing he's in big trouble, Dennis falsely claims that Dexter gave him the catapult and turns on the tears. Sharon immediately believes her precious son and storms over to see Dexter, where she hands him the bill for the window. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And just a quick look quickly at next week's episodes, and that's in a fortnight. Next week there's Passion at its best, that is right, and we know who we're talking about right here, as Whitney's big summer storyline continues. And of course this results in the exit of Tony Discipline, who plays Tyler Moon. Whitney Dean tries to confide in fiancé Tyler over her recent troubles regarding Tony, but he unintentionally offends her by calling her messed up. The couple end up having a big row, causing Whitney to call off their engagement and take off her ring. She then heads over to the R&R, where she tells Joey Browning that her and Tyler are over. The pair flirt, but when Whitney tries to kiss Joey, he warns her to leave before she does something she regrets. Well done, Joey, you did warn her at least. However, Whitney tells Joey that she knows what she's doing, and unable to resist any longer, the pair kiss before heading back to Joey's place. Uh-oh. This is good, this is really good. Well, it's not good really, because I just want Joey and Lauren back together, but in a way it is good, because we get to see more passion, and in a way I don't mind actually seeing Whitney and Joey kiss, because I just don't want him back with Lucy. I'm sorry, I just don't like Lucy and Joey being together. So EastEnders airs these scenes on next Monday, so that's not this Monday coming, but next Monday, July 29th episode at 8 PM on BBC One. Still to come, I'll be discussing my opinions of Peggy Mitchell's big return later this year, and that includes the big accident which sees Phil Mitchell in a coma. And of course we have latest news about our EastEnders page and the EastEnders BSOT Awards and more. Now though, on Radio Walford, here is the latest EastEnders rap roundup from Python. Please enjoy.
Yeah. Ava had to make one long hard choice cause Dexter threatened to leave her alive. And Sam she's trying to do right, but it always ends in one big fight. But Dexter saw that his mum's upset and she might blame him if Sam would have left. So Sam said Dexter's in charge, and his attitude changed when he gave him the car. Patrick's got two girls in his case, he's spoiled for choice on who to date. But Cora's the choice he made, cause it's with her where his heart will stay. Carl gave him one lesson learned, if you play with fire then you will get burned. So he's distraught and he's hurt, but Carl made it clear that money comes first. Tiffany's feeling bad. She falling in love with a mystery man. I've got the game in my hand, that's something to remember. Python, wrap round on EastEnders.
And that was Python there with another brilliant EastEnders rap roundup. Thank you very much. As usual, as we say each episode, you can follow him on Twitter by following @TeamPython. You can find him on YouTube by searching EastEnders rap roundups or EastEnders debates, or you can find his YouTube channel name, Python Official. Or you can find him on Facebook by searching again EastEnders rap roundups or EastEnders debates. And now we've got a couple of bits of news about our EastEnders page, and in just a few moments we'll have, well, in a couple of minutes we'll have EastEnders discussion, and we'll also, well, I'll be giving you my opinion of the EastEnders storyline set to rock the square, and we'll also have a few moments of our time to think about Peggy Mitchell and those excellent moments she's had on Albert Square. So, just a bit of news about our page now on Radio Walford. First of all, we have a brand new admin, so well done to Katie for getting the job, and we look forward to working with you on our EastEnders page. The EastEnders BSOT Awards 2013 voting closes on the 1st of August, so get voting now if you already haven't. The link is up on our page or on the EastEnders Spreaker description, obviously under this episode. Of course, we have an EastEnders competition which goes on until the 27th of July in courtesy of Mickey Wardman. Just quickly to talk about that, he'll be hosting Radio Walford next week alongside me. He's giving away 2 Peggy Mitchell themed prizes to be won because he's a super Peggy fan. For your chance to win a Barbara Windsor signed autograph and a key ring saying "Keep calm and get out of my pub," all you have to do is the following. In a 30-second video, record yourself saying your name, age, and trying your best Peggy Mitchell impression by saying, "Get out of my pub," or "Get out of my pub." The winner will receive these 2 prizes, and their voice impression will be played on Radio Walford next Sunday. It's worth it if you want to win these prizes or appear on the radio show. Send your YouTube video to the page by messaging it to us for us to review. We will inform you when we have seen it, and will let you know the result of the competition when it closes. Note, you do not have to record yourself on video if you wish not to. Please, however, record your voice clear as possible. Remember, the competition closes on Saturday, the 27th of July 2013. Remember, you can win a signed autograph from Peggy Mitchell or Barbara Windsor, or a keyring which says "Keep calm and get out of my pub." And also, we've been updating our page. From now on, we don't post so many photo spoilers. We'll now do it in a simple, separate album under the name of Coming Up on EastEnders. And we've also got a fun and games album created by my admin, Tommy. Thank you very much for doing that. So if you want to play some fun and some games, please click on that album. Right, that's all for news on our page. There is not much news about EastEnders lately. We haven't had many new cast member news because there isn't, any cast members coming in. And we haven't even had any cast member exit news, which is, in a way, it's good. So there's not much news. Now, though, we're going to take a short break and let you listen to some music. Oh, there is one little bit of news. Did you know that Brad Pitt and Jolie watch EastEnders? OMG. Okay, so, as I said, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to let you listen to some music, and when we return, we're going to be discussing a big storyline which is coming up for EastEnders later this year, and I'll be discussing my opinion on that, and reading out some shoutouts, and we've also got a special montage of greatest Peggy Mitchell moments.